Companies Amendment Bill. Item 2, Transport Safety Investigations Bill, second reading.
Minister for Transport.
Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of the Minister for Transport, I beg to move that the bill be now read a second time. Singapore is a vibrant transport hub. We have world-class air and sea ports that connect us to the rest of the world, and an extensive public transport system that enables our people to move around efficiently for work and leisure. Ensuring safety is a key focus of our transport system. We set high safety standards through legislation, regulations, and close oversight of our transport operators. Our transport operators also employ technology, train their personnel, and run safety campaigns. Despite these measures, incidents happen, and when they do occur, it is important that we learn from them, identify the causes, and take measures to prevent a recurrence. We do this by conducting safety investigations. As these investigations aim to identify lessons and not to ascribe blame, they enable those involved in an incident to freely share information in a truthful manner without any fear of being penalized. The Transport Safety Investigation Bureau, a department of the Ministry of Transport, will be the authority responsible for conducting safety investigations into air, sea, and certain land transport incidents. The Transport Safety Investigations Bill will be the single legislation that governs the conduct of safety investigations. It will facilitate the TSIB's work and enable TSIB investigators to effectively perform their safety functions. Currently, the TSIB conducts safety investigations into air and marine incidents. The TSIB bill will extend the no-blame safety investigation principles, processes, and best practices from the air and marine sectors to the rail sector. It will standardize the procedures for the conduct of investigations and apply the same set of safeguards on the treatment of information obtained during an investigation. Mr. Speaker, so let me highlight the key provisions of the bill. Clause 3 of the bill states the purpose of the bill, one of which is for the prevention of future transport occurrences and not for ascribing blame to any person or organization. Clause 15 makes clear that TSIB may investigate incidents involving any combination of modes of transport vehicles and between civilian and military transport vehicles. Clause 16 of the bill sets out the scope of TSIB's investigations, which includes incidents involving civilian aircraft and vessels. When the TSIB has built up its rail accident investigation capabilities, they will also conduct safety investigations into domestic and international railway incidents, which happen on or after a date set by the Minister under Clause 5. When directed by the Minister for Transport, the TSIB may also investigate incidents involving certain land transport incidents involving buses, such as those operating under the LTA's public bus services contract. As is the case under the existing legislation in the Air Navigation Act, Clause 16 of the bill will continue to allow the TSIB to investigate an incident involving only military aircraft engaged in a flying display in Singapore organized by civilians. To ensure that investigators are able to effectively perform their roles, clauses 26 to 31 of the bill confer on TSIB investigators the necessary powers, including powers to access occurrence sites, gather information and records, take possession of evidence, and require medical examinations of persons involved. Clause 23, subsection 5, specifies that these powers are exercisable by the TSIB investigators only when and to the extent authorized by the Director of TSIB. Clause 43 of the bill prescribes limits on the disclosure of restricted information collected during an investigation. This limit on disclosure is important in order to encourage the free flow of safety information in transport safety investigations, and is also necessary in order to meet international requirements. Examples of restricted information include witnesses' statements, medical or private information, voice and image recordings and their transcripts, analysis of information, and draft final reports. This clause, however, does not prevent transport regulators and other agencies from conducting their own investigations to obtain similar information directly from the source. Subsection 4 of Clause 43, however, allows the High Court to order the disclosure of any restricted information if the High Court is satisfied that any adverse domestic or international impact that the disclosure might have on any current or future investigation is outweighed by the public administration in the, I beg your pardon, I'll say that again, is outweighed by the public interest in the administration of justice. Clause 44 provides that TSIB investigators are not compellable to give any evidence or provide any expert opinion in any proceedings except to a coroner's inquiry. This reinforces the purpose of the bill, which is not to ascribe blame to any person or organization. Information obtained by the TSIB in the course of their investigation is to be used solely for the purpose of improving safety and not by the judicial system, whose purpose is for blame or liability. Clause 18 of the bill specifies that the expenses incurred by the TSIB during an investigation is recoverable from the owner or operator or both of the transport vehicles involved in the incident. To enable the findings and lessons learned from TSIB safety investigations to be shared with as many people as possible, Clause 20 of the bill requires the TSIB to make their investigation reports publicly available. Clause 21 of the bill prevents the TSIB's reports from being used for disciplinary or criminal purposes. Accordingly, the TSIB's draft reports are inadmissible in all courts and proceedings. Reports of completed investigations are also inadmissible in all courts and proceedings except a coroner's inquiry. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move.